We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 114, year 5, I think we're in. Hey, today we're going to talk about World Series of Poker weekend. WSOP starts Tuesday. My Lakers are out. The NBA Finals, the NHL Finals. Mouthpiece is next. What up, everybody? Welcome to the Mouthpiece. WSOP starting on Tuesday. I have a very full schedule scheduled. I haven't talked to you guys in a few weeks since I got this nerve block. I think I had just gotten it done the Friday we did this last couple weeks ago. Now, let's see what's going on with that. So the nerve block didn't work, and I've been in really debilitating pain for a couple weeks. I started a steroid pack at the beginning of the week. It really helped a lot with the pain. I'm feeling much better, and it goes to find out that the pain down my leg into my knee was not caused by the disc from the surgery, but that I have a sports hernia. So the sports hernia is causing the pain in my groin area and shooting down my leg into my knee. So I've got a wrap that holds it really tight and has been helping with the pain. So I've been feeling good. I got back in the full swing of playing full time this week. I played every day this week. I was stuck 11,000 going into yesterday and got even yesterday. Thought did not play well at the beginning of the week. Probably punted off 24,000 playing bad. But, that's okay. It's just, it's fine. It's all good. Kind of been working on my game a little bit. I really, really, really love my no limit hold'em game going into the World Series of Poker. So, I am playing a lot of events. I am definitely going to put up a package this week for the smaller buy-in events. There is the $1 million game is going tonight. I didn't even think about it. That's probably why there's not that many people on here. But I kind of have no interest in watching the $1 million game, even though my friend runs the whatever. So, anyways, I could run this today or tomorrow. I figured today there's no sports going on, and what time the $1 million game starts at 4:30 or 5, something like that. So no big deal. But I am going to give away some percentages to my 10Ks for my loyal fans that are on here. I'm also going to be running a tournament in my home game probably next Sunday. And next Sunday, I'm going to probably give away 10% to the winner of the tournament to the main event. So basically, for $100, you will have a chance at $1 million if I win the tournament. If I make the final table, you'll be having a chance at 25,000, or more than that. Look at 100,000. What am I saying? If I finish in the top 50, good chance you'll have a chance at like 25,000. So I've cashed the main, I think 3 or 4 years in a row. I'm 1 year away. I think if I cash it this year, I tie the record, or I break the record for most main event cashes. Going along with 2 main event final tables, and whatever. So I'm looking forward to it. A lot of people have asked me, am I excited for the WSOP? And normally I would say I'm extremely excited. I'm not a tournament player, but I love tournaments at the WSOP. Now, I could have played that $1 million game. I had a seat if I wanted it. I could have I had the money to people to put it up, but I decided to pass because getting into the World Series, it's just not something that's really an interest to me. No, what it's going to be is I'm going to probably give away probably 10% to the winner of our tournament, or I might give 5% to the top 3, 5, 5, and 5. I'm also going to be giving away percentages to my 10Ks. So basically, if you finish depending how many players we get, we usually get like 40 or 50, but we might end up getting like 500. Who knows? Now, part of being able to be available to win this will be you must deposit $200 into the site, and the tournament will cost $100. So we expect you a little bit to play a little bit in our room. We have a half hold'em, half PLO game, $2, and it's a really, really great game. So I have been running my private game for almost 3 years, over 3 years now, and I've never raised the rake. I never will raise the rake. I take $3 a hand max, and I don't make any money. Basically, pretty much all the money that's raked goes back to the losing players and to help the winning players, make some money. So I've basically, put this together 3 years ago. And when I did do it, my hope was to have like 5 or 6 games going a day and actually make a little money. But as time went by, I realized, there's really no money to make, and unless I got it, it was just when we did have 4 or 5 games, it really became too much work, and so everything is good. I'm really happy with the room's been a little slow lately, so I to the loyal customers and my thank you, Uchi, for stepping on my thing. I appreciate it. What you knocked out, I don't know. Hold on a second. She stepped on something.
Jiggle your cord over there.
No, she stepped on something. But how do I escape? I don't know. Anyways, what do I do? Anyways, so, I really feel, oh, here we go. I really feel good about giving back to my players and other people. So I'm gonna offer this, and it's if we get a lot of players, we get a lot of players. But if we don't, it is what it is. Then basically the players that have been with me for 3 years will win pretty much what we want. We'll win all the prizes. So I really don't care. Just like when people are talking about, markup in tournaments, that I don't really care. I'm doing well financially. I don't have to worry about selling pieces of myself at the World Series. I've won every single year. Last year, a small loss because we lost in the 10Ks. I ended up breaking dead even for the series because the ones that people didn't buy big pieces of are the ones that I cashed, and unfortunately the ones they bought big pieces of are the ones I didn't. And in the 10Ks, you just got to finish one top 3 and your World Series is paid for. So, I've had 2 losing World Series in my life, one in 2014 when I had the injury, didn't know about it. And then last year, losing 23,000 in tournaments. But overall, me breaking dead even because the ones I cashed, I had a bigger piece of myself. I decided I'm going to play the head-up tournament. And it's not because I beat Sean Deeb. Did I beat Sean Deeb and did I set a perfect strategy and play it to perfection? Absolutely. And will I have to adjust next time when we play? Absolutely. But the fact that I was able to set out a strategy, play it to perfection, I thought my ability to read was absolutely fantastic. I knew when he was strong, when he was weak. Tells me that, I got a shot. People say, well, you haven't played head up in a decade. Well, when I was playing NBC head up every year, that was the only head up I ever played then. So, people say, well, people don't play head up every day. You know what I'm saying? How many people do you think? It's a big difference between head up, in a playing head up cash and in a head up tournament. I understand tournament strategy. I understand blind structure. I understand board texture, and I read better than probably 99% of the people in the world. So, listen, when I went NBC head up in 2013, I was the best player. I played great. I remember, I beat Isildur, I beat Mizrachi, I beat Barry Greenstein, I beat Scott Seaver, and at the time Isildur was the best head-up player in the world. He told me in round 2 when I beat him that he thought that I played fantastic and I was very, very hard to read, and that he thought I had a good shot to win, and then I went on to win it. So, I never really gave myself credit as a good head-up player because I didn't play much, and like when you play sit and goes or whatever, turbos. That's one thing. Like I was playing a head-up turbo yesterday. I thought I made a mistake in a hand. We were playing a 3K sit and go. Me and my buddy Luis, Brazil God, plays on HCL. A really nice guy, one of my best friends. And hand came up where we were at the quarter 50 level, second level, 4,900, pretty much 100 bigs. And he had raised it to 170, quarter 50. I made it 600. I was at 4,900, and he jammed. And when he jammed, I just knew he had 8s, 9s, or 10s. I said to myself, should I call here and take the flip? And at ace king, and I thought about folding. I'm like, I feel like I'm better than he is in tournament. He's a great player, great head-up player even. But in tournament, I think he plays too fast, doesn't get away from enough hands. And I thought about folding, and I ended up calling. He had 2 8s. I'm sorry, did I say ace king? I had ace queen. I'm sorry, and flop came king jack, so I could have ace queen or 10, or running king jack or whatever. But I lose the flip for 3K. We played 2 out of 3. He won the first. I made a mistake with a flush draw. I won the second. He flopped a set. I turned a set, and then he won the third. But to be a poker pro is requirement to be a narcissist. That's a good question. There sure is a lot of them, isn't there? You know, I'm pretty humble. I used to be a really, really egotistical, but then I realized, you know, egos will break you, cards will make you. Basically, stay humble. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm going into the World Series pretty humble. And a little kind of worried about, you know, playing all the mixed games, because I haven't played a mixed game since last year's World Series. It's been all no limit for me. But Phil's been playing some mixed games for practice, and when he asked me about certain hands, my brain just clicks right to it. I tell him exactly how I would have played it, and he says, perfect, that's how I played it. And especially when it comes to 8 or better, Omaha and stuff. So, you know, he was texting me on breaks and stuff for after hands, and then he ended up winning it yesterday or 2 days ago for 74 people, which is great. You know, I make a lot of final tables in PLO 8, but I don't make, I haven't been able to win any. So good job for Phil. It was only a $500 buy-in, but, you know, it was really good for him. So, you know, even talking with Sean Deeb, he told me not to worry. Mixed games are like riding a bike. You'll be fine. So I think I'll be fine. I played well last year. I just, every time I got deep in a mixed game, down the last 3 tables, you know, the Omaha 8 finished like 24th. Dan Zach has 2 dry aces. I have ace, king, king, deuce. Dan Zach's capping every hand with a lot of chips. And the flop comes queen, jack with, you know, 2 hearts. And I need a 10. And now the board pair to jack. So if a king comes now, I make a full, where before when a king came, he had ace, ace, 10. So that took away more of his outs. So I had like 18 outs. If I hit this hand, it was a 3-way cap pre-flop and capped on the flop 3 ways. If I win this hand, I'm at the final table minimum, and I have a great shot to win, where Dan Zach goes on and wins that hand, and he wins the tournament. So everything comes down to one card here or there. I also, let's see, I cashed the horse tournament. I think I finished like 17th or 16th, 10K horse. So I cashed 3 of the 10Ks, but they were all min cashes. And like I say, you've got to, so I end up losing like 63,000 in them 10Ks. And I final tabled the no limit flip and go. Really thought I was going to win that. I really played great. You know, you try and flip your way into the tournament, and then It's like a tournament of like 300 people, and it's a lot of fun. So, but I got a lot of confidence in No Limit Hold'em. I'm going to call my shot. I believe I'm going to win a No Limit Hold'em at the World Series this year. And I have a feeling it's going to be the 25K. I'm going to be playing it. It's going to have a really good feel. Excuse me. I just got a really good feel. So we'll see. Yeah, Jungle's done well in the 50K. He is a really good player. He's an aggressive player. He knows he plays well. What's funny is, we're going to go, and I'll talk a little bit about poker stakes. I've got all my big events listed at Poker Stakes. I've got my markup approximately 1.2 on every event. I went 1.5 on the Omaha 8, 1.5 on the PLO 8, and 2.0 on the main event. Now, the reason why I go 1.5 on the PLO 8 and the Omaha 8 is, well, first of all, even though I haven't cashed the 10K PLO 8 in the last 4 years since it's been put in, before that, I finished in the top 30 of every PLO 8. Even the 1500 last year, I finished 24th. I'm really good at PLO 8 and Omaha 8. In the last 22 years, I final tabled the 10K 08 11 times, winning it once, getting third once, getting fourth once. And so when I enter a 10K 08 tournament, I'm probably the most feared player in the tournament. If I'm not, I'm definitely in the top 3 most feared. So I'm really good, but I am worried, that because I haven't played in a year, will I be okay? I'm pretty sure I will, but it's something that I put a lot of time and work into, and so I'm comfortable with it. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. I used to sell my markup at the main at 1.5, and everybody's like, "You're crazy. Such a juicy field. You should never put it up for less than 2.0." So I think last year I put it up at 2.0, and I did the same this year. I've cashed it 3 years in a row, so nobody's lost money. They've made money. And I should have cashed it in 2 other years, but I was in a lot of pain, and I kind of fucked up. So I feel pretty good about it. I'm probably going to bring my chair that I'm sitting in right here. I don't know. It's kind of just, I haven't decided yet. I might go out and get a chair for the Hold'em, because during the Hold'ems, when I have to sit in those shitty chairs, that's when I really struggle. Maybe not this year. I don't know. We'll see. Listen, I don't like to talk about too much about my results or how I've done last 3 years. I've kind of give you guys an idea of how I've really done well in No Limit Hold'em the last 3 years. So, listen, they could teach everybody all the bullshit. They could fucking have people pulling out GTO wizards at the table. I couldn't even imagine playing poker, pulling out a GTO wizard or a fucking charts to see what the right play is. I mean, you're playing a game you're supposed to love. and you're playing it to see if your skills are better than the other person's skills. But you're getting on your phone and depending on GTO charts, wizards. I mean, I think it's pretty disgusting. I don't know. It is what it is. So whatever, man. I'm not a tournament player. I don't like tournament poker, but I'm good at it. And I love the camaraderie of the WSOP and the 200 people that play the 10Ks every year, and the mixed 10Ks. It's just a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And so I'm looking forward to it, you know. The smaller events, I'm going to be late regging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my my small events up for, I'm going to sell 10% of it. Probably, I don't know, no markup or whatever, just for the fans. And then, you know, but I don't know how many of those I'm going to play. I'm really focused on the big no limits. I'm even thinking about playing the 100K no limit. And listen, I know those guys that all they do is play and whatever, but you know, towards the end of the year, you know, they had the 5 and the 10Ks. You know, everybody's chasing a bracelet the last 4 or 5 events, and I'm playing with all the best players. And I just didn't see more than 1 or 2 that I thought were better than me. I felt comfortable as can be. You know, I lost a massive pot cooler late, right after I tripled up with Ace King to Kings. And but then I still had plenty of chips when I got it all in. Ace King me, Ace King Eric Seidel, and the guy who moved in with Ace 7 of spades. And the flop came 8, 9, 10 of clubs, and I have Ace King with the Ace of clubs, and the other guy's got Ace 7 of spades, and Eric Seidel had the Ace King. And so if a club rolls off, I get a full triple, and who knows? Eric Seidel finished second or third. No, Eric Seidel got third in the tournament. Now, he lost that hand too. But he had an extra couple 100,000 of chips than me before that hand. And as it ends up an offsuit, what rolled off on the end, an offsuit jack or something, and the guy with the Ace 7 got the triple up. But I was like big favorite to, even if we chop the guy's Ace 7 up, it moves me up about another 8 big blinds and a turbo. It was at 1530. Yeah, he had 270, but yeah, another 8 big blinds. So, what's up, JJ? And so, you know, but if a club rolls off, I get a full triple, and I'm going to make that final table. I end up getting 32nd. Phil finished like 33rd. I was out of like 700 people to put up a 5K. So, listen, I really feel comfortable in No Limit Hold'em. I mean, in 2005, I was the best No Limit Hold'em player in the world. If I wasn't the best, I was top 3. And I believe I'm better than I was in 2005. In fact, I know I'm better. But everybody else is better too. So when I say I'm better than I am in 2005, that doesn't mean I'm better than all these fucking killers in No Limit Hold'em. But I can compete with them. And they're not better. Okay? They're as good as me and maybe a little better. Maybe if they play at a level 10, my no limit game is 8 3/4 to a 9, and it would take 10 or 20 years to show the difference. So I definitely am good enough in no limit hold'em to compete with everybody, and I'm going to show you all this year. Played 5 no limits last year, cashed 4 and final tabled 1. So I plan on playing more no limits. Sean Deeb asked me, well, why would you play more no limits when you could play no limit any day of the week? Why, when you can't the mix? Well, the answer to that is I can't play no limit any day of the week because I can't move. You know, I have to, if I go play a no limit event, I don't have to rent a scooter. If I don't rent a scooter and I'm walking around, I'm in a lot of pain, and it's just really hard on me. So, you know, being able to, you know, have my scooter, play some of the no limits. No limit hold'em takes a lot out of you. It's a game of you got to focus on everything. You know, every time I got to day 3 of a no limit, I slept for 24 hours. But, you know, yeah, I do think I could dominate the small buy and no limit events, you know. I missed the senior event last year, best tournament in the world. It's like such a juicy tournament, you know. But it was very hard for me. Senior events, they start at 10 a.m. The restarts are at 10 a.m. I was playing till 2:30 in the morning, going to bed at 4:30, waking up at 12:30. This year, the 10Ks end at 11 o'clock, restarts at 1. So basically, I'll be getting to bed by 2, waking up at 10. And so for the restarts at 10, I could easily get up an hour early for the restarts on the senior event. I just think the senior event it's a really, really, really juicy tournament. I mean, I really think that it's a tournament that you could really put people in a lot of bad spots. And older people tend to play a little bit tighter. So I'm hoping to play it. So we'll see what happens. Now, the 50K I will be playing this year. I haven't played it the last 4 years. I cashed it in, was it 2018? I finished 14th, or 2019? 2017? 2017, 18, or 19. I'm not sure which one it was. And I haven't played it since. The reason why I haven't played it is they run the PLO 8 tournaments the same week as the 50K PPC. And I feel there's, you know, since I believe I'm one of the best PLO 8 players in the world, I just feel that the edge of playing those two were much greater than playing the 50K PPC 5-handed and 6-handed against all the best players in the world. So that's just my opinion. I thought it was just a better situation for me. But now that they're running the PPC, I think 2 weeks into the series, I definitely plan on playing it and plan on doing well in it. So I'm pretty excited for it. They're running a Big O tournament this year. I'm really excited for that. Big O, 5-card PLO 8, is a completely different monster than PLO 8 or Cash Game 08. Lot more luck in it, but also way more of a trapping game than the other games. Like PLO 8 is a deception game. Omaha 8 is an aggressive math game. And Big O is a kickback trap game. It's a game of trapping somebody for a quarter of their stack. That is the key. So I'm looking forward to playing that. They are running a Badoogie tournament this year. Badoogie is probably my worst game in cash, but I do run bad. But in tournament, it becomes a different game. Because in tournament, when you 3-bet the guy with the 1, 2, 3, and he 4-bets you and stays pat, what do you do when he bets the flop? The first draw you call, you draw 1 again. He bets the turn, and you raise him. When you raise him after you 3-bet with 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 4, on the second draw, even if you miss, if he's sitting on a king, a queen, a jack, he has to fold. You put him in position where, so you could just, because it's tournament chips, you'll be able to Badoogie really bluff a lot. I mean, you could bluff a lot in Badoogie. Yeah. You get dealt 4 spades that are 6 or less. You cap it. He stays pat, you stay pat. He bets, or he checks, you bet, he calls. You're just going to be able to do so many different things and steal so many different pots in Badoogie tournament where everybody just pays off a 10 or a 9 or a jack and cash Badoogie. So that's going to be an interesting tournament. I'm really hoping my health holds up, guys. If my health holds up, and I will say this week, since I started the steroid pack, beginning of the week, my body feels much better. My knee still hurts, but I won't be walking at all. So I really feel good about the World Series this year, and hopefully we'll get in the Hall of Fame this year. I've been on the ballot now for 11 straight years, and they've put some real doozies ahead of me. Pretty unbelievable, actually, but that's okay. I know it's political, so it is what it is, and I will my mom's 85. If I don't get in the Hall of Fame, why she's still alive. It's bad enough that I didn't get in, but my father's still alive. The mic drop at the induction ceremony is going to be something they'll talk about for years. So, we'll see what happens. I wasn't sure if I took an Adderall today. And now that it's hitting me, and I took another one like 10, 15 minutes ago, I might be zipping around because I have no memory. And so I ended up taking 2 15 milligrams today. So, oh my God, I'm going to be bouncing off the walls.
You have a drink?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm humbly ready. I'm really excited. The documentary we've been filming since November of 2021 is in its final stages. We planned on having it out before this World Series. Unfortunately, it won't be for another 3 months, and I'll be leaving you guys up to date what's going on with that. So, that's it, what's going on in the World Series. If you guys want to buy a piece of me, pokerstakes.com. I have a friend of mine that just bought 10% across the board. I have another friend that wants to buy like as much as he can. So whatever's left, you guys, It's up to you guys. I really don't care. Whoever doesn't buy a piece of me this year will miss out on making money. That's all I can tell you. You will miss out on making money. I have lost 3 weeks in the last 6 weeks in the last 2 years, 3 weeks in the last 6 months. I had the losing streak in the mixed games where I told you guys about that I was really down on myself for. I set a goal of how much I wanted to win back by the time the series started. I won it all back slowly. I've put myself in a very good position to put $250,000 into my Bravo account and hopefully win a lot of money. No matter what happens at the end of this World Series, unless I get completely crucified, which has only happened once when I was sick, I will be completely out of debt at the end of the World Series. And that is something that is very special to me, very important to me. The fact that I did it all by myself with nobody's help and really, really fought through a lot of pain and a lot of tough days to do it. So, I get emotional over it, but people don't understand until my documentary comes out of really what I've dealt with over the last 8 years. And to have done what I've done and changed the way my whole life basically works, where before it was always bet 5,000-10,000 a game sports, play the biggest poker game, swing 100,000 every other day, to being happy swinging 20,000 a day, sometimes 30, sometimes 40, but most of the time, 15 to 20, and grinding. I have a lot of. It builds character, man. It builds character. It definitely made me a better person. Made me a better person as a poker player, a better person in life. Just an all-around better person. And in the poker world, and this is one thing like me and Phil talk about that he just doesn't understand, is the poker world is built around a lot of scummy people. It ain't what it's built up to be. When you play the 200 people tournaments at the World Series, 190 of those people are good people. So when you play with good people, like Phil's always playing on streams with a lot of good people, he's like, oh, everybody's so good in the poker world. Well, it's not true. Phil's not out there fighting for a seat to make a living in a poker game. When you have to basically do whatever you can to get a seat in a poker game, it's in this day and age of private games, it's a war zone to make money in poker. And so there's a lot of bad people in poker, and I'm fortunate to be in a game with all great people, win or lose. If I lose, I have no problem saying, you guys got me tonight, or we had fun tonight. And almost every day we play, we have fun. And to be able to play in a game where everybody's always having fun it really makes poker fun again. When you're doing it for 26 years like me, it's easy to not be fun, when you're having to do whatever to get a seat in the game. It's not fun, and then even when you do that, you're playing with people that are cutthroat people, and they are, so it's not fun. I'm blessed to be in a really good game with a good people. I don't know how long the game will go for. I'm hoping it goes forever. I enjoy playing with everybody. Everybody in our game has gotten much better. I've worked with people, some of the people who are losing players in our game, to try and help them get better. And I feel like everybody in our game likes me and enjoys playing with me. And so it's a good experience. And that's the same with my home game. Shout out to Sly, Chip, Pepe, missing a bunch of people, but Moon Rocks, all the people who play in my private game every day, the 1-2 PLO and Hold'em. They play in my game because they enjoy playing with players that are fun to play with. And we don't have pros in my private game, my private home game. Israel, if you want to get into my $1-2 half Hold'em, half PLO game, private game, it's email mouthpoker@yahoo.com. Mouthpoker@yahoo.com. You get $250 in chips for $200. And so, the people who play in my game, in my private game, they love playing with it. In it, the game that I play in my bigger game, I believe people enjoy playing with me. I had one guy, shout out to Sonny, bluffed me yesterday in a pretty big pot, and it was funny, but I told him, okay, buddy, it's war now. I've been it was pretty funny at the time, but we have fun. They love to bluff me. They they like to beat me. I don't blame them. I like to beat everybody. It's fun to beat people, as long as you're having fun. And so poker, I'm ready. WSOP starts Tuesday. It looks like we're going to run this tournament. It'll be run before the main event. It might even be run next Sunday. I will let you guys know. And you can check out my Twitter. And we'll probably be giving away probably a week from Sunday. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to give away 15% to the main event. Winner gets 10, second place 5, or I might give first, second, and third 5, 5, and 5. That's a lot of equity for a $100 buy-in tournament. And again, I want the people that are going to play, that are going to have a chance to win this tournament and get a piece of me, to play in our room, $1-2, half Hold'em, half PLO. So it's basically, I'm trying to get the room going again where we have a couple games going every day for my regulars, and for that I'm giving out the main event prizes. So if we don't get that many people, then the people in my room will get the big share of it, which will make me even happier. So I will definitely, if we run the tournament on a week from Sunday, I'll run another podcast probably on Monday or Tuesday announcing it, and I'll also be tweeting out about it, and we'll see what happens. So, all right, we're done with that. My Lakers, my dream of the Lakers winning the NBA was horseshit. That sucked. I didn't lay off my 40-1, 50-1, and instead of making 10,000, I lost 1,000. So I'm an idiot, like I always am. I never, ever thought they could get swept. I mean, the Lakers had a shot to win game 1. They gave away game 2. They had the lead with 5 minutes to go in game 3. They gave away game 4. Like Anthony Davis said after the series, we gave away 2 games, maybe 3. You could look at it that way, or you could say when crunch time came, Denver was the better team. I think Denver was a better team. I do not believe the Celtics are going to pull it off. I don't. And, I mean, if you look at this series, game 1, the Celtics will say we played one bad quarter. But I disagree because the Heat outplayed them in the fourth quarter and held on to the lead. Game 2, Celtics led by 10 with 6 minutes to go. They punted off that game. They were the better team. Game 2, except for about a 10-minute period. Game 3 was all Miami. Game 4 was all Boston. And Game 5 was all Boston. So you got 2 games in a row where it's been all Boston. If you look at the 5 games, and that's 20 quarters of play, from what I see, it's 10 quarters Heat, 10 quarters Boston. So in game 1, Heat won the third and fourth quarter. In game 2, Boston, Heat won just the fourth quarter. So that's 3 quarters out of the 8 for the Heat. In game 4, at home, the Heat won the first 2 quarters. So that's 5 of 12. Yeah, well, actually, if you look at it, they've actually won more quarters. Yeah, Boston's won more quarters. Game 1, the Heat won third and fourth. Game 2, the Heat won the second quarter and the fourth quarter. So that they split all the quarters in the first 2. Game 3, the Heat won all 4. So the Heat the Heat had 8 quarters won. And then the Heat won the first 2 that's it. So game 3, they won all 4. So 4, 6, 8. The Heat have won 8 quarters unless you want to count the fourth quarter yesterday. And so the Heat, it's basically been 9-11 or 10-10. So the series is pretty even. Going back to Miami, I was wrong. I took the Heat yesterday +9. And, you could say with 49 seconds to go, it was a 10-point game. And the Boston guy hit a 35-footer, and each team walked the clock out the rest of the way. If he misses that, maybe the Heat get a layup, the game land 8. So who knows? The loss of Vincent was huge yesterday, and it showed. And Kirk, that's what we're talking about. Gabe Vincent, he said he is expected to play game 6. I don't sports bet, Barry. I bet like $1,000 on the game for fun. And I'm not even loser over the last 2 years. I'm like break even. Yeah. And so they replaced Gabe Vincent with Lowry. And Lowry was so bad that it was pathetic. I love you too, Stephen. Thank you. Lowry, how many times did Lowry grab the ball in the post, start dribbling, and Brown poked it away or Smart poked it away? He had like 7 turnovers just dribbling it off his foot or them just poking it away. Then he threw the ball out of bounds twice. And he ended up with like 7 points, and I think 3 was a 3 hit late in the game. Lowry was awful. And I thought, because Lowry, let's be honest, you go back to the Bucks series, the Knicks series, and the first 3 games of this series, Lowry had played really good. I mean, was he great every game? No, but he was good. And he was terrible yesterday. Terrible. And so Vincent has to be the Vincent we've seen in the series, or the Heat are probably going to lose, and I'm going to lose $8,000 because I had somebody bet me Boston down 3-0. The Heat were 13-1, and they looked dead. I mean, they quit in game 3, and the take back was 8-1, and so I gave him 8-1. And now I'm sweating a $1,000 bet to lose $8,000, which I haven't lost $8,000 on a sports event in I couldn't tell you how many years. So, do I think they could win? Do I think Boston could win the series? Sure. Are they the better team? They sure look like it the last 2 games. But then you could say the Heat look like it in game 3, game 1, and the fourth quarter of game 2. So it's very interesting. Brown has been terrible, and yet they've won 2 in a row. White and Horford look fantastic the last 2 games. Grant Williams was incredible in game 4. Kurt, what you just said is the reason why I believe the Heat are going to win game 6. I believe Spoelstra will outcoach the coach of Boston, make the right adjustments. And the thing about yesterday's game is as much of a blowout as you think might look it like it was. Finished 13, they had it down 10 late. Sat between basically 15 and 20 the whole game. Where was the game lost? The game was lost when Heat made like 5 straight incredible defensive stands and couldn't get the offensive rebounds. They out-rebounded them on the offensive glass by 13 in the first half, which led to 18 points, and that was the difference in the game. That's not counting all the turnovers. They had 20 turnovers to like 5. So if the Heat cut the turnovers down to less than 10, to less than 11, I'll just say 10 or 11, and they break even on the glass, the Heat will win game 6. But it's a big if, I guess. So we'll see. It's never been done in history. And I book a guy 8-1. And like my friend said to me, if anybody could change history, it's you, Mike. Maybe he's right. I do think that if I do lose this 8,000, it doesn't matter. I'm with Kurt. Denver's going to win the championship. I was going to bet Denver and lay 2-1 the other day because I still feel the Heat were going to win the series. It's down to like 180, 170. If Boston wins, they will be the favorite in this series. I don't see how Boston could beat Denver. I don't see it. So, but who knows? They've been there before. You know the old story in the NBA. Everybody's got to take their step. A step up before they win that title. The Bucks had to do it. You know, the Heat, 2020, in the bubble finals. The Heat had the number 1 seed last year. That's what people keep forgetting. The Heat were the number 1 seed last year, and their team got better. Yes, Hero's a big loss, but Oladipo was not in the rotation all year. So if the Heat could get to the finals, and they say they expect Hero back in the finals, they could win it. The Heat could win it. I don't know. I think Denver's too good. I thought the Lakers played pretty darn good defense. They just didn't have the one. They didn't have the one 3-point shooter they needed. D'Angelo Russell was a bum. They needed D'Angelo Russell to score 15 or 20 a game, and the Lakers were home free. And all he did was turn the ball over and miss every shot. So, yeah, Jokic is Bill Walton. Jokic is a 7-foot Larry Bird. Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Now, will he be the best player going next year? Because Giannis is on a mission, you know. Yeah, I agree, Kurt. That's why he went to Tristan Thompson in Game 4, where he should have gone to Tristan Thompson in Game 2. They needed a big body underneath to rebound. It was definitely a problem. If he switched to Thompson in Game 2, and I think he should have played Beasley, who's a 42% three-point shooter, more. And I think they should have ran plays inside out with LeVon posting up or Davis posting up and getting it out to a three-point shooter. I think that would have been the difference. That's why with the Lakers shooting 54% in Game 1 from 3, LeBron and AD going off and losing that game, it's a big loss. Big loss game. Game 2, they had that game 1. They out-defended them, gave it away. Game 3, I feel like Denver took over, especially in the 4th. Game 4, the Lakers had it. They decided to come out like nonchalant in the 3rd. Man, the series easily could have been 2-2 or 3-1 Lakers. The Lakers had a team to win a title this year. They were, I think, one shooter short, but they could have won it. And I don't know if you guys noticed, it came out that LeBron was playing with a torn tendon in his foot. He was able to rehab it enough to play at the level he played with, and which now makes sense of why the three-point shot was so flat for most of the playoffs. Year 38, year 20, age 38, and he's still a top 5 or 6 player in the league. Pretty incredible. Alrighty, well, we have a small audience tonight. I presume it's because people are watching the $1 Million Game. Friday night, no sports going on. I expected a really big audience where we were going to give away some percentages to the just on my 10Ks. But I don't know. Trying to think of some things. Maybe I'll give away a percent to my Omaha 8, and we'll give away 2 tonight. We'll give away 1 to my Omaha 8 10K, and we'll give away 1% of the main event. All right, so let's take some calls.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matiso on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live. 702-329-0480. Give us a call. Maybe we'll give away 1% to a caller for my dealer's choice, Omaha 8, maybe the main. We'll see. 702-329-0480. If we don't get no calls, that's 1% less I don't have to give away. We are, like I said, I'm really, really shocked that we have such a low audience tonight. That's okay. Welcome to Mouthpieces, Mike.
Mike, it's Daniel calling. We are a small audience, but we're quality.
Yeah, it's true. You know,
Okay, we got to establish the fact that we're top quality. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the inner workings of poker. When you were with Full Tilt for a while, and they were, you were sponsored by them, weren't you?
Yeah.
Did you have a manager that set that up, or how did it work?
I had an agent that I work with that got me whatever jobs I needed to.
Do you still have an agent?
No.
So now you must. I guess you. I don't know. You're not an envious guy, but it's Daniel Negrano has what's his name? Brian Balspa as his agent.
Yes.
And he set that deal up with GG Poker. Like, I think that's why Daniel just lives in a golden world. I mean, he must make a fortune on that deal.
Daniel does very well.
Yeah.
Daniel's the only one in poker really that's making a lot of money. Keating ended up showing up and playing on the $1 Million Game. Interesting. Well, yeah, they got 37,000 people watching the game, which is why we're slow tonight. And so, Daniel's done well. Elke has done really well. He's got a big following in France. He works for GG. I have my friend from Brazil, a couple friends from Brazil. They're doing really well. Working for GG. So, there's not. You have to remember when Daniel got the GG job, right? GG Poker wasn't a big. It was basically kind of a mafia-driven site, very underground site, and Daniel brought it mainstream. So Daniel,
yeah, but they put together a really good platform. I mean that was their strength.
Yeah, they put together a good platform, but it had a lot of kinks in it, and so it wasn't like. I mean, Daniel brought them the WSOP. Daniel brought them during COVID. Daniel brought them a lot, and so, he got to give credit where credit's due. I like the truth of the matter is up until like 2019, I didn't even know people were playing online poker still in the United States. I didn't, and I found out that they were playing on VPNs and everybody was still playing at Poker Stars and people were playing on GG and whatever. But online poker, from what people I've talked to, the games are the toughest games in the world now. So, I don't know about people who are making millions playing online poker. You know what I mean?
Well, I wouldn't trust it. Past 25 cents.
No, I wouldn't either. When they accuse Ollie as Mark of cheating and the other guy is a really top player, I knew what was going on at GG with the cheating. Same with Brent Kinney and the stable he had. Like I had been told by some people like 3 years ago about it, and I didn't really want to go public with names. wasn't my spot. You know what I'm saying? And so I let it go. Then it all came public, and it's a shame. Like I remember Daniel telling me about like this pro are like making $10 million a month playing poker or whatever it was, and then I knew right then and then that that's not possible, because it doesn't matter how good you are, to win a tournament. It's just, if you're playing against competent people, it's just it's going to get spread out. You know what I mean? So Jake Schindler, yeah. So I knew about Jake and Ali like almost over 3 years ago. There's other people, I mean, there's one guy plays high stakes poker, comes out. Can you lower your volume in the back, bud? Just a little bit, thanks. There's one guy that I brought up. Can you lower your volume?
Whatever kind of phone he's on, it's creating an echo.
Oh, is it? There you go. All right, maybe it is your phone. Oh, whatever. And so I kind of knew about a couple other people that ghost other people's accounts, and they admit it. So it's pretty sad.
Well, you got to admit that the money, if you cheat, you're probably going to, for the amount of effort you put in, you're going to make a lot more money than going GTO and having to study and like actually work at the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, cheating is going to turn over money that is like, it's there every day until you get caught out or until you quit.
Yeah.
And it's substantial money, as we know over the history of poker. I mean, what was that site where they were playing, they knew what your hole cards were? I mean, holy mackerel.
Yeah. That's
you were talking about the senior event being pretty juicy.
Mm-hmm.
I played in the $1,000 senior, super senior 5 years ago. So I was 65 years old. I just barely scraped in by a few weeks. Mm-hmm. That was 5 years ago, and it was 5,000 chips start. Only 5,000 chips is all we had. Mm-hmm. I started at the beginning of the third level. I sat down at the table, and for whatever where the button was, whatever, I didn't get dealt in the first hand, and it's the third level. So the second hand of the third level, my first hand of the tournament, I get pocket queens. I knock out two guys, and I go from 5,000 up to 10,000. That's my very first hand of the tournament. Thank you very much. I play over the next hour and a half a succession of cards and things you're not going to believe. I'll just throw this quickly at you. I have pocket aces. I make the same bet as I did originally with the queens. Nobody plays me. A few hands go by. This is over about like an hour or so. Got me into through the third level into the fourth level. I get kings. Nobody plays me at the table. I get queens. And this is the succession of them. I get queens. Nobody plays me. I get queens again. Now I'm thinking to myself, am I going to make the same, keep on? And I said, what the hell, how can I change? Can I go up, go down? No, I'll make the same. I make it again. Nobody plays me with the queens. I get jacks. Nobody plays me with the queens. And I'm sitting there, I'm going, and I've chipped up to about 12-5, and I'm going, this is insane. Absolutely insane. And there's really no other hands that I'm playing in between. But I've never had as good a cards in my entire life. Then I get ace king. Finally somebody plays me. I get crushed. Then a little bit later I get ace queen, get crushed again. Now I'm down to about my starting stack. And I get ace jack, right? Somebody plays me again. I haven't won a hand since the first hand in the tournament. I get ace jack. I flop top jack. I got nut flush draw because I got ace jack of diamonds. I'm all in, brick, and I'm looking at pocket queens, and I'm out of the tournament. So I played all of those hands, aces, kings, queens 3 times, jacks, ace king, ace queen, ace jack, and I won 1 contested hand.
Yeah, what happens?
I so much for the seniors. They're all sitting on their hands. They wouldn't play me. It was because the image that I had, that they were sitting there for 2 hours looking at each other, and then I come flying in and I sit down and I win the first hand, and they go, what are you doing? You're supposed to start at the, because they've been playing with each other for like 2 hour sessions or whatever, and they go, why do you come in late? And then they wouldn't play me. It was just a story. And self-frustrating poker. Well,
that's why you gotta balance and play. If you don't enter a pot, and now you come out and you enter a pot, they're not going to give you action because you're not playing. You're playing super tight.
I know. I played it over in my head. I just think that they really didn't have too much. But the fact of the matter was, they didn't want to play me because my first hand, I knocked 2 people out of the tournament.
All right.
I mean, literally.
Well, listen. I'm going to give you a chance to win 1%. I'm going to give you a pretty easy trivia question. I think.
Okay, I'm up for it.
If you watched my match against Sean Deeb, there was a hand that I floated Sean on the flop. I bombed the turn and bombed the river. What was my hand?
Oh, God, I did watch that. Now, just ask me the question quickly again.
Okay, there was a hand against Sean Deeb where he raised pre-flop.
This was heads-up match just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, where he raised pre-flop. I knew he was weak, so I floated him on a king-jack high board, and I bombed flop, turn, and river, but yet he still called me with third pair. What was the hand that I had?
Oh, my goodness. I'm drawing a total and honest blank completely, and I did watch that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed your play.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry, man. I'm going to have to give somebody else a 1% shot.
You're going to keep that question? You're not going to tell me the answer?
I can't because somebody else might have. I don't have that many questions. I'm only giving out 3%. But if I don't give out these 3% in the next, you can try calling back. Okay?
Okay.
All right,
One
my friend.
last question before I go.
Sure.
You mentioned you were going to have a surgery. When's your surgery?
I had it done 2 weeks ago, Friday, with no success. Went to the doctor, a regular doctor, 3 days ago, only to find out the reason why I have this horrifying pain in my knee is I have a sports hernia that's causing it. I'm getting an MRI done next week to see if it's a tear or just a strain, if I'm going to need surgery on it. So that is what's causing my knee pain. I wish somebody would have checked for that first before I had a nerve block done, but it is what it is.
Well, there's a clinic up in Thornhill in Toronto, Canada. They've been the leaders for hernia operations in the world forever.
I do know that I heard that hernia operations are very painful, and so I'm not looking forward to it if I do need an operation, but nothing could be more painful than what I deal with every day, so we'll be all right. All right, my man. Have a great weekend.
And good luck.
Thanks for the call. All right. Terry.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Yes. Yes, Boba, I think I do have a tear in my anus. That might be causing it also. Yes.
Mike Matisoff.
What's up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece.
Hey, check it out, $100. Hey, what's going on, Mike Matisoff?
How are you, man? What's your name?
Hey, it's Edward, dude. I'm calling out of San Antonio, Texas. How's it going, my brother?
Good, my man. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I just want to say what's up. I hope you're feeling well, man.
I'm at the pain in my body, which was really bad the last 2 weeks, is gone down.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I took a steroid pack this week. Really helped. But I still have the pain in my knee. But I'll be on my scooter and I'll be okay for the series. You know, I'm just going to have to really play well. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
Mike, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, do you want a chance to win 1% to one of my 10Ks?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you the same question I just asked the last person. I tried to bluff Sean Deeb when I floated him on a King Jack high board. What was my hand?
One. You had the king. Didn't you have like an 8-9 or something?
There you
like
go. Winner.
What?
There you
Get
go.
the fuck. Sorry. Get out of here.
Okay.
Really?
So
Sorry for cutting
you have a
you.
choice
Sorry.
to win 1% to the 10K dealer's choice, 10K
Yeah.
Omaha 8, or the main.
Okay. Oh, really? Wow. Matt, you said Omaha was a good game. The main event, I want to pick you in the main event, man.
All right.
You always seem to rock it in the main event.
Yeah, I cashed it 3 or 4 years in a row. I think it was 3.
Yeah. My money's on you for the main event, dude.
Yeah, I'd like to turn that 1% into 100,000 for you. Hopefully, I will.
Are you serious?
It'd be nice. Somebody's got to win it. Why not me?
Can
All
I
right.
give you my email address real
Yes,
quick?
give
I'll text him.
my assistant will text you on your number that we called you on.
Yeah.
And we'll get
Can
your
I give you
email
my
address.
phone number as well? Yeah, you have my
He's
phone
got it
number,
all.
right?
He's got it all, and you'll have 1% to my main event, and I appreciate
No
it.
way. Seriously?
Yes. So
Get the hell out of here. Seriously?
yeah, and I appreciate
Wow,
you calling.
Mike, you've been rocking and rolling, man.
I appreciate you calling. Tell all your friends
Yeah.
to listen to the
My name is
Mouthpiece.
Edward. Hey, Mike, shout out from San Antonio, Texas, dude.
Okay.
And hey, I'm playing poker right now. And thank you so much, man. Much love to you, dude.
You're
And I can't wait
welcome.
to hear back from y'all.
You got it. Thank
Dude,
you.
made my
Edward.
day, Mike.
And I hope I made your day, and hopefully I can make you.
man.
Hopefully I can make you 100,000. Even if I can
Mike,
make,
I'll take-
even if I could cash for 100, I can make
Yeah.
you 1,000. That'd be great.
Hey, you know what, man? And we can take that money and we can do something good with it, Mike.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You got
I'm
it.
for real, man.
If I win the main
I-
event, there'll be
Yeah.
a lot of money given to charity.
Yes. Can we do it to like a? Go
I one thing learned over the years. In 2009, 2008, I wanted 100 million by the time I was 2015. Then I had a lot of bad things happen to me, and I realized money is not important. It's important to have enough to pay your bills, but it doesn't make you happy. And if you can help other people in life, that's all that matters. So
Yeah.
you got it, my man. All right. Well, thanks for listening. I'm going to give out a couple more packages and keep on listening to the Mouthpiece. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike. Best of luck to you, my
You're
brother. We'll
welcome.
hope to hear you from you soon.
You got it. All righty.
Yeah, we got a couple more here.
Okay. That was very good to give a new caller 1%. We're going to give out 2 more percents.
Hello.
Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike, what's up? It's James from New York.
Hey, James. How's it going, my man?
What's up? If you win the main event, you're going to have to credit it to that last caller's energy for giving you the,
Absolutely.
the run good.
That was really great energy. That's good. Just new caller, haven't heard, I like new callers. Like I said, I could really build the podcast in a really big, but I like the 5 or 10,000 people that listen to it every week. I wish more people would listen live to it. But I try and I want to make the poker world a better place. I want to make the world a better place. And the people who listen to the show, I appreciate, So, how's your weekend going?
Going good. Just talk about, like you mentioned, Ali and Jake. These guys, Ali, Jake, Bryn. I mean,
these are great players. They're world class players that don't need to cheat.
That's my point. Is like, you take, like, everyone's seen them play, and they're world class players, and their like lifetime EV is probably like $20 million, and these guys have to go for $100 million now. How greedy can you be?
Well, that's what's wrong with the world. You know what I'm saying? It's the world is all about, well, what do you think social media is about? It's about affirmation. Everybody who has low self-esteem, they get on a Twitter account, they get on an Instagram, they start putting out things that try and make themselves aware, TikTok videos, and then they go viral, and then they get hundreds of thousands, and now all of a sudden they think they have tens of thousands of new friends that care about them or look up to them or whatever it is. And I knew in 2007 social media was going to be the end of society, because you can't connect 8 billion people where, I don't know, 6 billion of them have a whole different belief system. Like the people in Russia, very, very Christian, very, very pro-God. People in Iran, very pro Ayatollah, or not Ayatollah, but Allah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And very religious. And when the West tries to push their Western values of insanity, transgenderism, and, the gay and lesbian lifestyle, which I have, of course, no problem with, but even in our country, and take away Florida, New York, Chicago, California, and Oregon, people are not pro-LGBT. They're not, okay? They're very religious. They think it goes against their beliefs. And the country is not for that. Yeah. Now, if you take all the people in these states, that's over probably half the population of the country, right? Or close to it. Like what? Probably like 80 million, whatever. 44 million live in California alone, right? New York. Yeah.
People are different. People are different.
So people are different. And so, I don't really want to get too political on the show today, but, the left keeps pushing out that the right is anti-LGBTQ or whatever. No, we're not. None of them are. We're anti-LGBTQ pushed on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old kids. They don't want 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kids pushing gay stuff or lesbian stuff, whatever, or transgenderism. And I get it. You know what I mean? Let kids be kids. When they reach puberty, they become an adult. They want to be gay, straight, bisexual, trans, whatever. That's up to them. The problem the right has is being pushed on kids. Give you an idea, like Daniel. Daniel is on the left, and he thinks the transgenderism is disgraceful for what they're doing to the young kids. He thinks it's child abuse. I think it's child abuse. We're not transphobic, none of us are transphobic. But the fact that they have gender, I saw a father talk about his 5.5-year-old son that wants to dress up as a girl. And has been playing with dolls and dressing up in dresses since he's 2.5 years old. What does that have to do? Maybe he sees his mom in a dress and thinks his mom looks pretty, so he wants to wear a dress.
They're just confused. That's all.
Kids don't know anything at that age. Do you know that I didn't even know what sex was Like, I remember one time when I was 7, me and my friends were joking, like, I wonder how many times mommy and daddy have done it. Well, at least twice, because it's me and my brother, right? And so, but we didn't think about, like, what is sex, or what is gay sex, or you don't need.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. Like, I even remember, I tell people the story the first time I saw porn. At 14, we went over to this girl's house. She pulled out these VHS tapes with some Swedish eroticas on it. I didn't even know what the fuck I was looking at, right? And so, where now, and this is where I'm very strong on this, if they program your ID, okay, from the day of your birth, let's just say you're 1 day old, your name is, I don't know, Stephanie Matiso or Laura Matiso, whatever, right? And you get registered just like your birth certificate. And that goes straight to all the social media companies. So basically, you have a birth certificate on the internet. That person with that ID that's given at birth cannot get on the internet before the age of 16. Okay? Or whatever, maybe cannot get to any of the sites or anything that's where you have to be 17 or older. You know, think about when we were 17, our parents had to take us to an NC-17 movie, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you got 10, 11-year-old kids just clicking a button to the most awful graphic, pornographic stuff there is. And that's very bad for society. Now, don't get me wrong, I love porn, okay? I'm an adult.
Who doesn't?
I'm an adult. Who doesn't, right? But kids, I think about when I'm a freshman in high school. When you're a freshman in high school, you want to fit in. You want to be liked. You don't know what group you want to fit in with, but you want to fit in. There was the stoners that smoked in the smoking section. There was the popular people, the preppies. There was the people that hung out, the athletes, the cheerleaders that had sex with all the football players. And I ended up, by the time I was 16, where I bought a cheap car. I turned it into a race car. We did drag racing on the weekends. And I became pretty popular because I had the coolest car in school. Okay? But we all want to be, when I was a freshman, I got the shit kicked out of me by a wrestler. Okay? Because I wore glasses. I was, I looked like a geek or whatever. But when he told me that we were fighting no matter what. And I fucking knew there was no way out. And I threw the first punch and I got about 10 punches in. And yeah, I got the shit kicked out of me. That kid respected me and loved me. Not didn't just respect me, loved me as a person the next 3 years in high school. So when you're looking to have to fit in, and these people are addicted to TikTok, and they're being told that they're a boy, but they could be a girl. And the in thing is to change your gender. And they are sexually mutilating young kids under the age of 18 for gender reassignment surgery or mastectomies or whatever they're doing. This does not fit into the LGBT category. You follow the account Gays Against Groomers. You follow people like Buck Angel, who was a woman that took testosterone and he lives life as a man. Like he even says, I live life as a man, but I'm still a woman, right? And you see what's going on in the world now. And it's insanity. And what they're doing to these young kids is irreversible. You know what I mean? put them on puberty blockers. Their dick doesn't grow. They're on estrogen, and then all of a sudden they grow out of it at 18, 19, 20 years old, and their lives are ruined. And it's being pushed by the pharmaceutical industry because they charge $40,000 for sex change operations, and then you're on this medicine you have to take the rest of your life, which they make millions and millions of dollars per year from everybody. It's a very sick industry. The world is a sick place. And so the right is not transphobic. The right doesn't want kids being pushed the ideology under the age of 18. And I don't think there's a problem with that. So anyways, I didn't want to get too political, but that's kind of like what's it's just craziness that's going on in the country. It's just I don't even get it. I mean, it doesn't even. It's almost like people are mentally deranged.
Well, they are. I mean, that's
they are. And the truth of the matter.
They need help.
Yeah, and the truth of the matter is like. I mean, people like. Again, I'm going to get off political. I'm going to say one more thing about a political topic. Is like Elon Musk had the rollout with Ron DeSantis yesterday, right, or whatever it was, and of course every media attacks Ron DeSantis is worse than Trump. Well, didn't they tell us Trump was Hitler, and now we have somebody that's worse than Hitler? The mainstream media is being exposed for who they are. And
I don't know how he gets so much shit where it's pretty obvious that the guy is clearly trying to find a better alternative for us in our future.
Of course.
And everyone just ignores it.
Well, the thing is not just that, but like even going with Elon Musk. Elon Musk was a far left Democrat up until 4 years ago, right? And he had no idea that everything that we were being told by the media was propaganda pushed by the Democrats. The mainstream media is petrified of Twitter because now every single thing posted on Twitter gets fact-checked by community notes. So if somebody on the right puts up something false, it gets fact-checked. Okay? And the left can't stand the fact that now all their lies are being fact-checked. And so now, what are they going to do going into 2024 with the media when there's now a platform, the biggest platform in the world, that every single time a politician or somebody puts out a lie, it then gets fact-checked by community notes. And that's community notes have to be fact-checked by people on the left. I think it's like 1,000 people, 100 people, I'm not sure, left and right. So he's looking for media he wants to make Twitter the most honest, transparent on the internet. And so if you're a Democrat on the left, you should want this. You should want to know when you're being told the truth, right? Do you want to just repeat MSNBC and CNN talking points? Or people on the right want to just repeat Fox News or ON talking points? Or do you want to actually read something and know you're reading the truth? I think what Elon Musk is doing is going to, when he turns it into the X app, the everything app, I do believe that $44 billion that he invested will be chump change of what he'll end up making 10 years from now. So, and I hope so, and I just want the truth. You know what I mean? I've known for 6 years what the truth has been. And a lot of people thought I was crazy. I had a lot of people, in 2016, me and Daniel were at war. Now we agree on almost everything. Not everything, but a lot.
people are scared to be, just be
well, it's just like
hybrid.
my friend Ashley, who's on the far left her whole life, and we talk politics like once a week. I bring her up a lot because she calls me and we talk for 2-3 hours a day. We talk about what's going on in the world. And everything that I used to tell her, like now that's come true, except, is, it's when you believe a certain way your whole life. And now you're at 40 years old, 41 years old, and you realize that you've been lied to. That's got to be something that's pretty hard on you, right? Can you imagine thinking a certain way your whole life and finding out that certain things aren't true? But the thing is, the reason why she tells me that she'll always vote Democrat is she's very pro-abortion. And I get it. I'm more pro-life now than I used to be. I still believe in pro-choice. I think up to 10 weeks, 8 weeks, you know what I'm saying? If you can't figure out if you need an abortion by 10 weeks, I mean, give me a break, right? So, but she's all, well, no, if you want an abortion when you're 4 or 5, 6 months pregnant, you could have it. It's your body. And I'm like, and this is what we do argue about. I don't want to get into it, but it's like, something like 80% of people born at 5.5 months live now. So, which way you look at it, it depends which way you look at it. But I am pro-choice for the first, 8 to 10 weeks and 15
Abortion
weeks.
Abortion is very, very, very complex.
It is. I don't like talking about it.
Issue.
Yeah, it's a very complex issue, and and people are passionate about it. But I do believe that I believe in people's right to autonomy. But I also know, when there's a full-term baby in your body, maybe not. You know what I mean? And so that's just it. Just like, that was during the COVID. You heard my body, my choice, but then they're telling you get the jab or we want you dead. Remember when they tried to turn half the country on the other half, saying it was a pandemic of the unvaccinated? That bullshit.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm gonna let you have a chance to win 1% of one of my 10Ks. I'm gonna give you a question. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. There was a hand again against Sean Deeb in the head-up match where I tried to slow roll him, but ended up having the best hand. What did I have?
I remember watching this hand too. I remember you showed the ace, and he said that the ace was good. I think he called you with like king high.
Queen high.
I think you had like ace 3 for a pair.
You missed it. It was ace deuce. I mean, I had three deuces on the river.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I know the hand, too, but then you showed the
I
ace
thought
first.
you were going to get it, too, because you had it almost right.
All right, well, look, I got the ace right. So
No, you have to get it all right. I'm going to give 2 more pieces away. If I don't give it away, you could try calling back. Anyway, have a great weekend, and I appreciate you calling. Have a great one. You got it. All right. I thought for sure he was going to get that.
Okay, so this next guy has won 1% of you every time in the last 3 years.
Oh. Well, fuck. Let's not take his call. I haven't won anything. No, I'm just kidding.
He got it in 2020, 2021,
Okay.
and last year.
All right. Well, let's put him on.
Hello?
What's up? Welcome to Mouthpiece.
Oh, hey, Mike. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I love the NBA talk earlier today. I'm so hurt over the Lakers getting swept like that.
I mean, when they lost Game 3, I'm telling you, you could have heard a pin drop in my house. I was so gutted. I was so sure the Lakers were going to tie that series up at home. And I was so sure that Boston would win Game 3 but lose the series. And then they got the shit kicked out of them in Game 3. And I was positive the way Boston quit in Game 3 that they were dead. I was positive. I didn't think they had any chance. And I got to give it to them. They took it to. They look like the better team now, and you could on paper, they kind of are, but I mean, let's put it this way: Butler is consistent, and I'll take Butler against Tatum. Okay, Tatum's either is bad, like he's really on or off. And so,
100%. I'm shocked that people are off the Heat and think
I'm not.
The Celtics are a lock now. I don't think that at all.
I'm not. Not only do I think that the Heat are going to win Game 6, but if they win Game 6, wouldn't shock me if they won Game 7. If they lose Game 6, because if they lose Game 6, everybody's like, oh well, the Heat are dead in Game 7. Or you could look at it this way. The fucking Boston goes, yes, we're going home. All we have to do now at home is win, right? The pressure's off us. We've tied it up, right? But the pressure is not off Boston. If they tie it up and come all the way back, the pressure's all on Boston in a Game 7. I mean, the Heat were 7-1 dog to win the series, starting the series. The Heat going home, there's no pressure on the Heat. And when they sit there and say, oh, the pressure's on the Heat, they were up 3-0. And there ain't no pressure on the Heat. Nobody gave them a chance. And the truth of the matter is the Heat lost yesterday for one reason only, because Vincent's ankle wasn't good enough to play last game. He said he'll be 100% in Game 6 or 90%, whatever. Okay? Lowry replacing Vincent in the starting lineup was so bad. All the turnovers and led to all the points. That and how many times did the Heat make perfect defense? Okay? Perfect defense. And they get the offensive rebound. They had 13 more offensive rebounds in the first half.
Yeah, they just had nobody, to dominate the boards. That's just, I think that's the Heat's that's the only weakness, I think.
Yeah, well, Bam Adebayo has to play like Bam played in games 1, 2, and 3. If Bam, I watched him yesterday. He fucking missed like 4 or 5 shots within 5 or 6 feet.
Yeah, he's got to hit those shots for sure. But you hit it right on the nail. Like I trust Jimmy Butler way over Jason Tatum. Hopefully he get a little healthy. Is Heroes out the whole series, right? Or is he possibly coming back?
He's going to be back for the NBA Finals. So if the Heat can win Game 6 and get to the finals, that's big.
Yeah.
That's really, really big. And
absolutely.
Wow, JRB just got so lucky with Ace Queen against Ace King. He didn't even know he had the Queen of Hearts. He had to look for. He checked. I mean, JRB's so bad. It was so obvious the guy had Ace King. So that's going to be a big. If the Heat get there, I mean, can the Heat beat? Can the Heat beat Denver? Yeah, but they can't. And if Bam Adebayo doesn't play like he did the first 2 games, I mean, Game 3, Game 2 he went for 22 and 17. Game 3 he only made 5 shots, but he had a lot of rebounds. His rebounding, he just has been no-show the last 2 games. If Bam if Bam Adebayo cannot get 20 and 12, 20 and 13, the Heat cannot win. They cannot win.
Yeah,
They cannot.
I agree. Yeah, he's a key piece to everything they do as well. So but I mean,
he's the Anthony Davis of the Lakers. Okay, but Butler is LeBron. Anthony Davis is Bam. Now, is Anthony Davis better than Bam? Yes. Okay, but Bam playing at the high level he did in game 1, 2, when he's able to score 20 and get 15 rebounds, that changes everything. That opens up all the shooters. If he can't get the rebounds or make the shots, I mean, in the first series, he was great against Milwaukee. Against the Knicks, he was great. Bam Adebayo has sucked the last 2 games, and with that, the Heat have gone down. Now, you could say maybe Boston's learned how to defend him. I see the wide open shots just missing. And then they get the offensive rebound, they get it in transition, and they get a 3. So, if Vincent's got to be like 80%. Vincent's got to be at least 80% tomorrow. If he's not, I don't think they could beat Boston. I think they will still, but I mean, Lowry was so bad. Look how good Lowry was in the Knicks series. Look how good he was in the Milwaukee series. Look how good he was in games 1 and 2. Lowry, I mean, I don't mind if he misses the shots. He's old, whatever. But come on, you've been in the league long enough. You can't be dribbling it off your feet, then poking it in, and just like he dribbles it into traffic and they just poke it out of his hand, turnover, or he throws the ball out of bounds. I watched him like 4 times the last 2 games go deep to the basket where he could easily like get a layup or off the glass or pull up for a shot, and then he goes to pass it out and throws it out of bounds.
He dishes it out, yeah.
I
hate that play. I feel like that happens in the NBA more and more. Like they have a layup, but they dish it out for a 3. I don't get it.
Well, what do you think Philadelphia lost? How many times did James Harden get to the rack where he had a layup? And he threw it out to the 3-point shooters that threw up a brick, especially in game 7, right? Like he was afraid to shoot Harden. It's unbelievable. The old Harden would have gone right to the rack, fucking gone to the rim, got fouled, gotten a 2. Instead, he
and 1, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if Harden backs out of his contract with Philadelphia and takes a multi-year deal for a max deal with Houston, which that'll show you what a loser he is. The guy's got hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, don't you want to win? You know what I mean? He should, instead of the $35 million he took with Houston last year, he should take $20 fucking million. And then they could get some fucking players around him and Embiid. And he should take a one.
James Harden has been part of every big team in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
With Brooklyn and then the original Houston team. Like I don't know if he's ever gonna get it done. To be honest, like he's been part of great teams his whole career. Like it seems like.
Yeah.
And like the Oklahoma OKC early years, he was part of that team as well. So. I don't know.
I mean, Harden to me is a loser. He's a sexaholic. He goes out to the strip clubs, and then every time he goes out to the strip clubs, he lays an egg. You know, and
that's the memo. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, every time he goes to the strip clubs, the next day he lays an egg. So.
All right, Mike. Well, I mean, I called to say good luck in the World Series. I mean, I feel like, I watched the heads-up match. You played really well, and I think you'll do great this summer.
Okay.
As well,
well, then I'm going to give you a trivia question.
Oh, remember this guy's.
I'll take it.
All righty.
Won the last 3 years.
There was a.
Oh yeah, I won the last 3 years as well.
Okay.
So this is becoming a tradition for me.
Okay. So there was a very big hand that flipped the match, in which I raised and Sean Deeb defended with the King 8 offsuit. I ended up winning the hand. What hand did I have? Sean Deeb made kings and eights in this hand.
I don't get no multiple choice.
No, this was the biggest hand in the match. He paid it off on the river. Very, very big match. That was the hand that turned the match.
I can't. I can't even.
I thought you were gonna get. You're gonna get it. Okay, I can't tell it because I'm gonna give it to him. I might have to give it to somebody else.
All right, I'll get.
But you know what? That. I will give you the answer. The answer was 10-7 of spades. I made a flush. He had kings and eights. And I don't blame him for calling on the river. Like, it's just a big hand that he couldn't get away from. The flop came king 8 blank 2 spades. He check called me on the flop. I turned a flush. I went real big on both streets, and then he went from winning 90% of the hands and being stuck in the match, and his whole body language changed, and that pretty much changed the match. So sorry you didn't get it.
Is that basically the teletape during heads-up matches? Like, is it just a lot of body language, a lot
what
of
happened,
like, momentum? Or
I set out with a certain strategy. I thought it would be the perfect strategy. I don't want to say it because
sure,
he'll adjust. You know, he's going to make a lot of adjustments in the next match anyways. But I did something. I told Phil what my strategy was going to be, and I played it to perfection. And I then did get, the 10-7 of spades flush versus 2 pair that kind of flipped the match. I then was able to study him and pick up some few things, and I really felt after that hand that, and a few other things that I picked up on, that the match was over, and I never once thought I was going to lose after that.
Nice.
But when you tell yourself what you're going to do in the first 20 minutes, what you're going to do in the next 40 minutes, what you're going to do in the next 20 minutes. And it goes, and then you switch those gears, and he plays into what your strategy was. It's kind of like a basketball team. They say, we have to defend this. We have to do this better. We have to do this better, right? And they all make adjustments, right? Well, I put a game plan together, and I executed it to perfection. And in the next match, he will make adjustments to the game plan that I had put together, and I will have to make adjustments to that. And I already know what he's going to do differently, I think, and I'm going to have to adjust accordingly. So that'll be interesting when we play the second match.
When are you guys playing? After the series?
It'll be after the series.
Okay.
Okay.
So you got plenty of time.
And again, I don't care what anybody says. Sean Deeb is a once in a generation tournament talent poker player.
Oh,
he is
definitely
the Phil Ivey of this century, 2010 to 2023. Okay. He just is. He is a world-class tournament poker player. A lot of people will say, well, is he that good, or is it because he plays volume? It's a good question. I think he's that good.
It could be both.
because he gets there at the Worlds. He makes three, four final tables every World Series, and he's got 6 bracelets. I mean, I felt he gave away one to Adam 2 years ago in the dealer's choice. I thought he overplayed the ace jack hand again in a no limit against Adam. And when you have somebody who's a weaker no limit player, you don't really want to be building the pots up. And against Adam, he just should have. He knows what he should have done different. And so, but listen, Sean's a world-class player. He's a good friend of mine. People will say, we've had, when he slow rolled me in 2013 or whatever. But, he apologized 1,000 times for that. I consider him a good friend. I would, he's an asshole to a lot of people. But the reason why people think he's an asshole to people is because he tells the truth. He outs scumbags. He doesn't like scumbags. So he outs them and he tells the truth. Sometimes does he go too far? Sure. But you know what? I'd rather have somebody that doesn't pussyfoot around scumbags and tell it like it is than that's it. Anyways, I'm going to take some more calls. Thanks for the call. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Yeah, no worries. You have a good one. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, D'Lo could have got $40 million after the first 2 series wins. Now, if he wants to stay with the Lakers, he'll have to sign for 15.
Hello.
Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Hey, Mike. How you doing, bud?
Good, man. What's going on?
So last year I met you, and I got to tell you, you were very gracious.
Thank
took
you.
my picture with you while you were getting a ticket there for a tournament, and I just want to say I appreciate it.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're very welcome. And so I appreciate it. And let's see. Do you want to try and win 1% to one of my 10Ks?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Who are we talking to?
What's your name again?
Bob.
Bob. Okay, Bob. In my match against Sean Deeb moved all in. What was the hand I called him with on the last hand of the match?
Oh, man, I watched the match, too. Let me think. I think, you want to know what hand you called him with, right? So I think it was King, King Jack.
Yeah, you got it, my man. All
Yeah,
right.
I was going to say King 10. I thought it might have been King. I wasn't sure.
Good. All right, you
I
want
did watch the match.
you want 1% to my 10K Omaha 8 or 1% to my dealer's choice?
Well, since I'll definitely take the Omaha 8.
All
I actually
right.
bought 5% of you in the freeze out
Oh,
that
nice.
you had on what was it, poker stake or whatever that is. But yeah, I did that a couple days ago.
Oh, good.
So I took
All right.
5%. But yes, definitely.
All right. So, do you have his number?
Yes.
Okay, my assistant's gonna get your information and your email, and you have 1% to my Omaha 8 10K.
So I definitely still want to do that tournament. Also, you're gonna do. So,
Okay. Yeah. So if you want to play in my home game, if you want to even play tonight or whatever, you can email mouthpoker@yahoo.com. And you get $250 in chips for $200. So,
Awesome.
and then the tournament will probably be next Sunday. And anybody who wants to be able to play and be available to play, it'll be a $100 buy-in tournament. Has to deposit at least $200. So we're trying to help some of the players that have been playing for 3 years and get some more players for them. And also, I like giving out to the people who are loyal to me and to my players. So I appreciate it.
You mind if I ask you a quick question about your book?
Sure.
So yeah, I read the book years ago, and I was just wondering, the police officer that actually set you up, after everything was done, did you ever see him after that?
No, but he was involved in the big when they took down the guy who won who robbed the Bellagio casino cage, right? That undercover cop was working with the same doctor who set me up in 2004. Okay?
Wow.
And that was in 2010, 2011. So that's why you don't snitch, because when you're in bed with the feds, you're basically you're in bed with them for life, you know? So here it was, they had, after he set me up in the poker world, he then went to set up, the guy that was trying to sell the money, the cranberries that he stole from the Bellagio cage and stuff. So the truth of the matter is you know, it's just the fact that they were still working together at the very, very end tells you that, you know, what kind of people they are, you know?
So I read that book a while ago. Now, if I remember, they wanted you to inform on someone. It was a long time ago I read the book, so I don't remember the exact something like that happened or not.
Yeah. No, yeah, they wanted me to be an informant.
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
They wanted to be an informant, and I said, go fuck yourself. I mean, they wanted me to like wear a wire for people that would have probably put me 6 feet under, and I was never going to do it. You know, it's pretty crazy.
I don't blame you there.
So, you know, you learn. You know, it is what it is. But the fact that he was still working with the same undercover cop, in 7 years later, really tells you what they are, right?
Yep, crazy.
That's why Chip Reese insisted when he set me up that Keon never be allowed into the Bellagio ever again. Because if he went to set me up, you know, at the time, there was a lot of high-stakes games going on, a lot of high-stakes sports betting going on behind the scenes. And you can't have somebody that's working for the feds being around any of that. So, yeah, Chip and Doyle had made sure that he was kicked out of the Bellagio for life at the time. That's just, listen, you take it... I could never, first of all, I was set up. I never dealt any drugs. All the drugs I ever had, I gave away to everybody. And it's pretty sad, you know? You know, he cried on my shoulder in 2006. I'm so sorry that I did this to you. I cried every day you were in jail, blah, blah, blah. And he wanted to be my friend. And I said, listen, I forgive you, but I can't be your friend. And I do forgive him, you know. Yeah. People do what they do, and you know, I forgive them, whatever they do, what they do. So
one thing with Helmuth that I believe is a true thing that he says is hate hurts you. If you hate someone, it's going to destroy yourself.
And even like you know, I'm really upset with somebody that Phil brought into our world. Guy who fucked me, tried to fuck me for $50,000 a year ago. Then he tried to fuck me for another $1,000. Then he tried to fuck me for $4,000 more. And I was really belligerent, like, I hope you fucking die, motherfucker. Now, I don't wish that on anybody, not even my worst enemy. But, you know, I say things I don't mean or whatever. And it just comes up, you know, you have to know not how much money somebody has, whether they're a high character person. You know what I mean? And in this poker world, it's real easy to think everybody's so nice, where there's a lot of very low character people in the poker world. Like, I'm watching the Hustler stream right now while I'm talking to you, and there's some people on this stream that I know a lot about and are not very high character people, you know. And the poker world is people. You just got to know who the good people in poker know who the good people are. The people that aren't so much around in poker, and I don't fault Phil, because Phil's really not in the poker world, even though he seems to be in the poker world. Phil, makes money outside of poker. Phil lives his life in Palo Alto. Phil has his own private game with his. He doesn't have to worry about busting heads to get into games to make a living. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he's not up to speed with the gossip or the bad things that happen with certain players. So when he's not up to stream, and a lot of times he'll tweet a nice picture with somebody, and he'll say one of the good guys in the poker world, and everybody will attack him and be like, one of the good guys, that guy's a blah blah blah. And I don't fault Phil, because Phil is not sometimes up to stream up to what's going on in the world, Listen, in the poker world has a lot of good people in it, and the people that we play in at the WSOP are high character people. You know what I mean? They're good people, and there's 200 people that play the 10Ks every year, like between 150 and 250, and 90% of them are good people. But that's not the poker world. The poker world are people backstabbing everybody they can backstab to get a seat in a high stakes game. And unfortunately, that's how our industry has come to that, and it's kind of sad. And even the poker Twitter being as toxic as it's been, like, Twitter's toxic enough, for people, for clicks and views and likes, to attack other people. It's disgusting.
So I'm watching this high stakes game here. Tony G, I read, is in politics or something now.
He was, not anymore.
No, because he I don't know him personally, obviously, but he some of the streams I've seen him years ago on, he was nuts.
I'll just say no comment on Tony G and leave it, and let you read between the lines.
Gotcha.
And so, alrighty. Well, I'm
All right,
glad
Mike,
you
thank
won
you
yourself
very much. I
a
appreciate
1%. You have his information, Danny?
I texted him.
You did text him? Okay. And just text Danny back the information, and hopefully I can win you some money this summer.
Thank you, bud.
I appreciate the call. All right.
All right.
All right, we got one more 1% to give away.
We don't have any more calls in the queue.
And we have no calls in the queue. So, somebody that lost could call back, and we can give 1% to the Dealer's Choice event. Or some of you all that are on my show all the time that never call in can call in, and don't be scared. Maybe you'll win 1%.
I'd like to give Barry Long 1%, actually.
Oh, I don't want to give that motherfucker any money. He's too stupid.
He's like the most loyal.
He is loyal. I kind of like him.
He's the most loyal fan we have.
He's loyal. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Politics doesn't define a person. Character defines a person. Welcome to Mouthpiece. It's Mike.
Hey, I'm looking to talk to Mike about the Lakers. Is that possible?
About the who? Lakers?
Yeah, I'm looking to talk to him about the Lakers.
What do you want to talk about? Fucking.
I made a big bet, just like you did.
Lower your volume in the back, bud. Yeah.
Yeah, I made a big bet like him, and I was watching all the games, and I just wanted his opinion on what he thinks went wrong.
Well, I'm going to tell you where I think things went wrong. I agree with what my persons in the chat just wrote. I mean, when Tristan Thompson was in the game, he was able to control Jokic. He only played him 10 minutes. Why? Tristan Thompson, right? Go back and look at all the years that Cleveland got to the finals. They got to the finals because of his rebounding. Right. That would take pressure. Him being in the game would take pressure off of Anthony Davis.
Exactly.
I think he should have played Tristan Thompson 20 minutes a game, every game. I think he should have made I said right away after game one, it was the adjustment they had to make. Just because he hasn't played all season. I mean, guy's still in the NBA, still an NBA player. You saw how hard he played for the 10 minutes he was in the game. I think that was an adjustment they needed to make. And once D'Angelo Russell couldn't make a shot, he had to get a 3-point shooter on the court. Whether it's for 10 minutes a game, he had to get Beasley on the court. Whether you like his defense or not, you weren't going to stop Denver. Denver's going to get their 115, 120 every game. They have the best offense in the NBA. But you had to match them. You had to find a way to match them. And I knew after game one, the Lakers weren't going to shoot that good from three. And they're going to need another shooter to match them. And they didn't have it. And they got outscored by, 17 at the 3-point line in game 4? Something like that in game 3. And they had Porter Jr. and Caldwell Pope to hit those threes. When you defended Jokic and Murray, they went to Pope and they went to Porter Jr. and they hit the shots. When they defended LeBron and AD, we had to defend on Schroeder or Reeves. Reeves played good. Reeves put in 5 threes a game. But 5 threes, when LeBron's three-point shot was off, except for game 4, right? Which you needed a knockdown 3-point shooter. Unfortunately, like Walker, his defense he was able to defend the Warriors because the Warriors were small. Porter Jr. and Pope were too big, and he couldn't defend them. I would have rather see Beasley. Beasley's bigger. Beasley's like 6'5". I think he should have played Beasley.
What'd you think of the last play of the 4th game with LeBron, where he actually finally crashed the paint? But did you see how he tried to do that 3-pointer and then he thought twice, and then he went for it and
who are you talking about?
LeBron on the last play.
On the last play, I mean, I personally, I would have gave it to LeBron and the post. I would have gave it to fucking, I don't know. I would have gave it to Anthony Davis and sent it back out to Reeves. I mean, Reeves had ice in his vein. I would have possibly even. They all knew the ball was going to LeBron, and so you had to. I guess LeBron was like, if I do it, I do it. If I don't, I don't. I got 40 on the game. I just fucking put up the greatest fucking playoff game for a 38-year-old in history. We win, we lose.
What's funny is I actually heard you talking about the Lakers like a few months ago. So I said, because I'm big on Party Poker, or on Poker Stars, and they just have sports betting now. So I started slowly betting on the Lakers for the conference finals and the finals.
I should have laid off my bet. When it was 140 on Denver, I should have just bet 14,000 to win 10 or 28,000 to win 20.
Exactly.
And
I had about 3,200.
But I thought the line would go down, and because everybody loves to bet the Lakers, and all the sharps pounded Denver to 170. And I didn't want to lay 17 to win 10. And I made a very big mistake.
That was like me too. I had 3,200 on the Lakers, but I had it even on the conference finals. So if they won the conference finals, I would have made 23K, and then if they won the finals, I would have got another 53K.
Yeah, I made a mistake. I should have laid off.
Yeah,
I definitely should have laid
thinking
off.
I should have hedged my bet. I was going to bet 10 grand on the on Denver before they start, but Denver was such a favorite. I'm like, if the Lakers win the first game, then I'll bet.
Well, here's what I felt, right? If the fucking Lakers win one of the first two, and I was positive they'd win one of the first two, I would be able to get the Lakers at even money to win the series. And I mean, they could have won the first or the second. I mean, the second.
I think
game.
They could have won all four because.
Of course, they could have won all four.
Think about it. The first game was 6 points.
If LeBron hits the three with 45 seconds to go, Denver, all the pressure. Can you imagine blowing a 21-point lead? The game's tied, you know.
I was watching a game with a friend. They said if they pull this off, they're going to win 4 straight.
Well, also,
they're going to be demoralized.
Also, look at the fact in that game that LeBron had a layup go halfway down, spin out, and Davis had the rebound that went in and out. Then the ball goes to the floor, big scramble. They get a 2-0-1 the other way, and they're up by 6, right? That was like 2 minutes to go.
Though. It was like they were the basketball was going in and out all 4 games. It was like the Lakers were just. I think it was just bad luck. Like and then you got D'Lo there who he's like.
I said it before the series. We had to get 20 combined, 20 to 25 from D'Lo and Schroeder. And we were getting 8. We got 8 a game in games 2 and 3. Right? D'Lo,
you know what I think?
Do you know the Lakers 14-1 when D'Lo scores over 17 points?
Yeah.
And something like 5-11 when he doesn't. And so
he was terrible. Though.
They realized it, and Brown even said it after game 1. He said, our goal was to take D'Angelo Russell out of the game, and we did that. So when you hear that, listen, I give Ham credit. I think he's a terrible coach, but it's also year 1 as a coach. So he did do a lot of good things. But when you hear that, you've got to make the adjustment. You can't just keep starting D'Angelo Russell, okay? Right. They knew they had to get him out of the game, okay? So the Lakers should have started big. They should have, what they started in game 4, they should have started right away in game 2, okay? Yeah. And even if not, if you go with LeBron, AD, Reeves, okay, I still like Schroeder coming off the bench, okay? But I would have gone like Hachimura, and I would have gone Beasley, because now you've got 2 guys that could shoot the 3 in Reeves and Beasley. You could post up with LeBron. You could pick and roll with Davis, okay? And Hachimura just can hit the mid-range from anywhere.
Right.
I think that was the mistake he made. I think you needed 2 shooters at all times. I would have brought, after game 1, I would have brought D'Lo off the bench. I would have mixed him up with AD on the court when LeBron is taking a breather. I just thought his combinations just weren't right. And
what about LeBron with all those missed 3-pointers in the 4 quarters?
I mean, it was obvious in Denver. It was obvious in Denver. The altitude, the man's 38 years old, year 20. If you add all the playoff games he's played 24 full seasons, okay? In altitude, those 3-point shots came up short. Now, I don't like the fact he took those shots, but he's LeBron James, man. He's like fucking used to making them. And now, as it comes out, which I already knew, he was playing with a torn tendon in his foot. He's getting surgery now in 2 weeks. He played through a torn tendon, and look at the level he played at. And they still had a shot to beat Denver, the best team in the NBA. The Lakers believed they had a title team. He saw it, and that's why he rehabbed. And I'm not sure what he did, okay? Whether he took steroids, whether they were shooting a cortisone shot into his foot every night so he could play on the torn tendon. But he thought, I got a fucking championship team. The way they were talking about handing out rings if they won the championship, they were convinced that they were going to beat Denver. And if they beat Denver, they'd win the title. They matched up good with Denver. They had the size to match up with Denver. But the difference is I bet they wish they had Caldwell Pope back on their team. You know, they gave up Caldwell Pope, Kyle Kuzma, Bryant, and a first-round pick for Russell Westbrook. And all they needed to do is keep Bryant, Kuzma, and not make that trade, and keep Caldwell Pope. Caldwell Pope is an unbelievable on-ball defender against the three. Caruso, when they won the title in 2020, Caruso and Caldwell Pope were phenomenal on-ball defenders on the three. And the Lakers didn't have anybody of size to defend Porter or Caldwell Pope. And that was the difference in the series. They were able to make their shots. We weren't. And LeBron had to defend Murray, and the AD had to defend. And they switched AD and Hachimura on Jokic, but you could only keep Jokic down for so long, you know. And so, that's just it. That's just it.
We're at 2.5 hours.
All right. Do we have one more thing to give away?
Yeah, you said there's one more.
All right. Are you there? Sir? Hello?
You're still connected.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello. All right. Well, maybe he'll come back on in a second. We're going to give away one more. One more. It's all right. I already have my last trivia. I'm going to give it away, and we're going to get out of here. I am watching this a little bit.
Well, we have a couple in the queue, so do you have somebody? Do you have
There are 40,000 people watching this stream. That's pretty incredible. It's a lot of people.
Yo, Mike, take my call.
What's going on, my man? Who's this?
This is Dave, limo driver, man. I've been talking to you on the show for it's like my 5th time. You're the best.
All right, man.
And I listened to you with Vegas, so I put some money on them in March to win it all, and it's looking pretty good.
Well, I kept saying, nobody's giving them a chance, but they're the deepest team, and Aiden Hill's playing great. If Aiden Hill continues to play the way he's playing, we're going to have a shot against Florida. If Borowski keeps playing the way he's playing, I mean, the guy just doesn't give up anything.
Coming off a sweep, though, it's always tough in hockey to win the next series. So
yeah.
I think it's almost good that he gets lost.
I mean, they won 4 games against Carolina. Carolina outplayed them all 4. I mean, Borowski stole 3 of them. So if you can't score, you can't win. But I think Vegas. My brother thinks it's. I wanted to bet Florida to win the Cup before the Stanley Cup final started, or before the playoffs started. And I tell the people the reason why is they hit lightning in a bottle to get in. Okay, Boston Bruins broke every record as the greatest team in the history of the NFL regular season. And they were going up against a Florida team that won the President's Trophy last year. They made 2 massive trades in the offseason, And the big one with Calgary for Tkachuk. Tkachuk was injured for half the year. Took time for them to get the chemistry together. Florida won 13 out of their last 15 and needed the Pittsburgh Penguins to lose to the Blackhawks just so they can get in the playoffs. And I said to myself, you know, they were the President's Trophy team last year. Tkachuk's playing good. They're playing good. They could beat this Boston team. And if they beat this Boston team, the sky's the limits for them. Because, and I mean, you could have got almost 200-1 on them when they were down 3-1 to Boston. After the series, they were 20-1 still. And I was going to bet 1,000 on them. And then the next thing you know, they get up 2-0 against Toronto. Now it's down to 9-1. Then they're up 3-0 against Toronto. And then I did bet them for 1,000 at 5-1. But, I mean, I should have had a lot more. My gut, I told everybody, I think they're going to win the cup. But either way, if I would have just bet them for 1,000 before the playoffs, I mean, they were like, forget down 3-1. Before the series started, they were like 60-1, something like that. Fuck, they were 7-1, or I'm sorry, 4-1 dogs just to Boston. So I wish I would have, and I didn't, but whatever.
Well,
I mean,
I always listen to your advice, and I was thinking about you today. Because every night I make my baseball bets for the next morning before I get influenced.
Yeah.
By whatever, just by frequencies in the radio and all that stuff. So I make my bets, and my buddy called me today, and he's like, "Hey, what's the pick today?" And I looked, and I loved the Cubs last night, and then I saw the line. I loved them, and it was -150. Then I saw the line was -140. And I'm like, why was Steele on the mound? Is it dropping? So I just knew at that moment in time the Reds would win. And there's nobody I can really express like this whole line movement, like when you just feel it. But I know you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
When you just see a line move, and I love it, and you're able to express it so poignantly, and it's so great to listen to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got Florida at 5-1 for 1,000 to win the cup. I'll probably bet Vegas for 1,000 and break even or win 4,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So even if you were winning 60, just tell yourself you would have hedged it down to 5 anyway.
Well, if I had 60-1, I would have going to the finals. I would just bet 30,000 on Vegas and lock up 30,000.
You started hedging though last round, wouldn't you? If you were going to win 60?
Why would I not take 30-1 on a team that's getting plus $1.20? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
I mean, why would I want to bet against my own Vegas Golden Knights, right? I would just put 30. You know.
Because you're too smart.
Yeah, but I'm not. Honestly, I took them because of. I just told you the reasons why I took them. Because I said they won the President's Trophy. They're playing with house fucking money, and I just felt that. I just felt.
Can I tell you one more gambling bet I made real quick? Do you mind? It's the Detroit Tigers. Like 2 weeks ago, I was on a major run, so I put $70 on them to win their division at 40-1. Very next day, it dropped to 15-1. I was so proud of myself.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you a chance to. I'm going to give you a chance to win this 1% that I'm giving away.
Do it. Come on.
Okay, you follow me for years, so you should be able to get this. Ready?
Read your book. Greatest book ever.
All right. At last year's World Series, I bluffed off the main event. What was the hand I was holding that I bluffed off the main event with? Or what hand did the guy call me with? You could get either one right and win the 1%.
Give me a hint, man. Do you love the hand? Did you have no business playing the hand? Was it?
I fucking got raised on the river. I got raised on the river and moved in with absolutely nothing.
I was going to say 10-7 so you can, because you love Negreanu, and that's his favorite hand. You like Buster's
No, you should know this, man. You're nowhere
don't know,
close. I
man.
can't. I'm saving this one. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try and
Damn
give
it.
away the 1% here. But
You're the best.
thanks for calling.
man.
Have a good one.
Thank
All right.
Bye.
Later. All right. I am going to give away 1% to the next caller who calls in.
Hey, Mike, it's James again. I need a little redemption.
All right, James. What was
Oh,
the
but
hand?
before-
What was the hand I was holding that I bluffed off all my chips in the main event last year?
What was it? Ace high. Ace 7.
You got it, my man. Good job.
Bang.
All right. 1% to the dealer's choice of my 10K. Do you have all his information?
I'm going to get it right now.
All righty. James, appreciate you calling back.
Mike, I have one comment I wanted to make.
Sure.
I was having this argument with my friend recently. Actually, we were talking about like your generation of players and how you guys get a lot of shit for like dominating like your era, like late 90s, early 2000s. And the argument they always bring up is how no one was good back then. Like, well, wouldn't that be more credit to you guys that you separated yourselves from everybody else?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
What does it mean that no one was good? It means that we were better than everybody. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
okay, so
like,
just
all
you have to do.
compare.
Let's ask yourself this better question: how many people have won bracelets in the 90s, 2000, 2010s, and 2020s? Okay, now I haven't won one in the 2020s yet, but I've been at about 8 or 9 final tables. How many people who won bracelets in the 90s are still at the World Series winning bracelets? Still at the top of the poker game.
Sure.
You got me. You got Daniel. You got Ivy. You got Phil.
Because I'm good at no limit hold'em.
And let's see. I mean, how many are still competing at a high level every year? Better question. How many people are still playing poker for a living that came up in the 90s, 2000s? I don't know. I can name
a lot of them are gone, right?
I can name 2, me and Phil Ivey, that are actually making that are just playing poker for a living, no other income. I mean, Daniel has plenty of other income with GG. Phil has all kinds of other income. John Jawanda's pretty much plays very little poker. Alan Cunningham, very little poker. Carlos Mortz's retired.
What about Kessler?
Huck Seed retired. Jennifer Harmon is pretty much retired. She plays still some, but not much. Todd Brunson owns a restaurant, even though he is coming back. He's going to play a lot of tournaments this year.
Would you say most of these players you just mentioned, like they're just kind of overburnt out? They just feel like they just can't compete anymore. They just don't want to. Like, what do you think it is?
The love of the game. I found something I was good at that I am still good at. I make a lot of money playing poker. I have never had any other income beside poker. I got played very well by Full Tilt, but I never made a quarter off Full Tilt because all the money they paid me was put into my account online, and I never once cashed out. And and then when I had almost $400,000 in my account when Black Friday hit, that I never got paid. So every quarter I've ever made has been from poker. Every investment I've ever made, I've lost money on. Everybody I've ever staked, I've lost like 4.3 million staking people. I lost 6.7 million betting sports in my life. So all the money I've made and continue to make is playing poker. So do I give a fuck that the trolls on Twitter don't think I could play anymore? I don't give a fuck. I get drafted in the fantasy draft every year for at least $20-25, right? And I do well for them. You know, the good players know who I could play. If I can't play poker, how come I'm not allowed to play in any of the private games? Okay, when you're good, you don't get in the private games. You know, in the mixed games, the private mixed games. You know, even the private no limit games, I get in a few of them, but I don't get in them all. You know, I'm always on table 3 or the backup table. You know, but if you're in private games, that usually means you're not a good poker player. If you're not able to get in private games, it usually means you're a pretty darn good poker player. And, you know, I can't, I'm friends with the guy who runs the 4 and 800 mixed game at resorts. And he told me I could play anytime I want. You know, I could play 2-3 days a week. And if I wanted to, I would, you know. But there comes a point in life I mean, I played 400, 800 every year, every day till 2016. So that was 20 years playing professionally, playing 400, 800 mix. And, you know, I started playing No Limit Hold'em again, smaller game, 10, 20, 40. And I realized that I don't need to make hundreds of thousands of dollars or lose hundreds of thousands of dollars to be happy. You know,
too much stress.
If I, you know, my bills are $10,000 a month, right? If I make $20,000 or $30,000 a month, I'm happy. You know, I live life good. I grew up. You know what I'm saying? You don't, and I did make a mistake in December. You know, December and January, where I jumped in a big mix game and lost $165,000. And the old Mike would have just kept going. And they might have busted me because I know I'm as good or better than all those guys. But when you play mixed games, the best players win, but they swing a lot more too. No Limit Hold'em, when you're good, you don't swing that much. You balance your ranges. You just,
if you're in the right game, yeah.
It's like a surgeon, you know. Poker is surgery, you know. You take evaluation of the arena. You take a look at all your players. You break down all their players. You break down their tendencies, and you use that to pick up money. And you try.
Do you play mixed games? You play your private games? Is it mix or Hold'em you play?
I play only No Limit Hold'em in the game that I play, 10, 20, 40. But in my private game in my own room, we play $1, $2 Hold'em and PLO.
How come you don't play any like mixed cash if you feel like that's your strongest?
Because of my injury. I'm in a lot of pain every day. It's very hard for me to get dressed, go down to Resorts World, unless I get myself a scooter, which I need to get, where I could not walk at all. I've got to do that. If I'm able to do that, you know, and they could fix this hernia that I have, which is causing the pain in my knee, then things will be better. But my quality of life is not the greatest. In 2019, they put a spinal cord stimulator in my back. It allowed me to at least have somewhat of my life back where I wasn't in debilitating pain 6 days a week, every week. So I'm very blessed that I'm allowed to play in the Hold'em game I'm in. I feel like I'm loved by the people in the game. I help people out in the game try and get better. We have a good time, and I not just blessed to be in the game, but to call everybody who's in the game my friend. And so in the poker world, not having to deal with the scumbags in poker and fighting for seats every day and being able to be with people that genuinely love you as a person and vice versa, it makes poker a lot more fun. Like, I enjoy
Are you
playing.
able to tell us anybody in the game or not?
No, I'm not allowed to mention any names. But, there's a few people that are there's a few people that are on HCL right now that play in our game sometimes.
It must play like 10 times bigger than a 10, 20, 40, right?
It does play much bigger. It plays some nights it plays 10, 20, 40, and some nights it plays 100, 200, 200, 400. Sometimes it plays big, but, there's a lot of, it's a lot of good people I play with. And there's people on the show here I'm watching that are, that I'm kind of pulling for. And so, we'll see what happens. I'm kind of like, I don't ever watch poker. It doesn't do anything to me. To me, poker is boring. I don't understand why people want to watch poker, unless they're characters, unless they make you laugh or they bring something to the table, or even like Keating, like his VPIP was 90% in all those other games he played in. You're looking tonight, it's 40%. Keating is not stupid, okay? Keating is a friend of mine, and he is a very smart poker player. And like Phil says, on a scale of 1 to 10 with a poker IQ, Phil puts him at 9.5. So he knows how to make money playing poker, and I think he's a very good person. So, I like him.
No, they know what they're doing. They know when they, decide to, go nuts. They're putting on put them on the show.
Stanley owns DoorDash. Stanley Tang. He was the inventor of DoorDash. He's a billionaire.
It's tough to watch. I mean, what you need, it's been hard to watch. I mean, lately it's been a little bit more entertaining, but overall the last 10 years, it's been pretty brutal to watch. Did you see the other day the Dan Smith and Jason Kuhn?
Yeah.
And the high roller.
And listen, Jason Kuhn apologized to Dan in public, and it was basically like Dan said. It was by his stack size and the 200,000 difference. It was a raise and a call. Pocket nines is a really bad spot in no limit hold'em.
Yeah,
it just is.
But maybe he came on a little harsh, Jason. But he is right though. It is live poker.
Correct.
You can't just say keep it down. Come on. They're not screaming. They're just having a conversation on the side.
That's what I don't play the high limit games at the Aria or the Poker Go studios. I mean, can I compete with them? Absolutely. I know I can. But I don't play poker to see whose dick's bigger, okay? Poker is about making money. It's not about going on a live stream and showing everybody how good you are. It's about making money. I go on the Hustler Casino 2-3 times a year, and I help the viewership goes up. People like to watch me play, and Ryan gets me in good lineups where I know I'm going to make 30 to 50,000 during the week. You know what I'm saying? And when they were talking about Garrett picked his lineups in the old days, yeah, okay, Garrett was the big draw. He decides who plays. These private games are about what brings most viewership. And sorry, Mr. Sorry that certain people, whether it's Berkey or I like Berkey, by the way, a lot, and I'm so glad he got revenge. I thought he was treated terribly by people online.
Yeah, he's
Now,
a good guy.
Berkey's biggest
But then again,
problem
like,
is he thinks he knows it all. That's his biggest problem. He never thinks he's wrong.
But then you can't people like Doug and shit and who's the guy that played Berkey heads up?
Airball.
I can't think of his name. Yeah. Like you can't. I mean, you can't take these guys seriously. They're just trolls. It's just like you watch their content and it's just like they're cartoon characters. It's just and it's like they're getting on Berkey and they're like in their live stream they're all antagonizing him, and it's like if you're Berkey, it's like look what happened. He got a massive spot and he won $1 million. It all worked out
right.
to his
and
advantage,
see, and Doug Polk did the same thing to Daniel, right? And so when
that's bad.
Listen, I used to really like Doug, and then he came at me a couple times, and when I was going to buy the place across the street from him, which something came up that it fell into me, he was on his podcast saying horrible things about me, just like he was saying horrible things about the one guy, right? Doug Polk cares about Doug. He don't care who he takes down. And unfortunately, he's got some fucking fanboy club that thinks he's some great human being. And I just wish Doug cared about people as much as he cares about clicks, views, and likes. And
I mean that Charlie Carroll. That was painful to watch.
Right.
And to listen to that was bad.
And he attacked him. I think his guy worked for him or whatever. And anybody that he could attack to take somebody down to make himself look good, he'll do that. And listen, when Phil Galfond attacks you,
if he's going to call you out,
okay,
you know something's wrong.
And Phil Galfond doesn't have a mean bone in his body. He is truly one of the nicest, kindest people in poker. And
he's the arbitrator for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. And I talked, I talked a little bit with Phil about the situation, and it's like, it's like sometimes he's, like you said, he goes, sometimes I'm just ready to give up hope for Doug, because Doug doesn't even see it. He doesn't even see how he comes across. It's almost like he doesn't even realize. I think he realizes it. I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
He's smart. He understands. Yeah. He's getting he's getting addicted to the clicks and the subscribers.
Yeah, right.
He's making money off it.
It's affirmation.
How far can I take it?
How far can I go for the affirmation? How much bullshit can I make up to make money? And hey, that's fine. That's the way people make money in the year 2023. I can never live like that. I can never put out content to try and hurt other people to make themselves look good. Okay, that's not me. I don't care. I'd rather be broke. And so that's just the way I believe. And just think in life, I say it over and over without being a religious person. If everybody in the world would just follow the 10 Commandments, there'd be world fucking peace. The world wouldn't be in chaos. We wouldn't have the fucking everybody. What's the problem? The whole problem is jealousy. Jealousy of people that flaunt their shit on social media so people covet what they have. They're fucking divorced. They cheat on their wives. They don't live up to the 10 Commandments. Whether you don't have to be religious. Read the 10 Commandments and live by them. You don't even have to believe it was handed down by God. Just read them and live by them, and just think how good the world would be. And on that note, I'm out the door. Thank you for the call. I appreciate you very much. And I'll
have a good night.
You appreciate it. Have a great week.
See you in the World Series, all right?
You got it. All right, everybody. Another good episode of the Mouthpiece is over. I hope you enjoy watching the Hustler Casino stream. I have a couple friends playing on it. I will probably have a announcement on Twitter, Facebook, and maybe even do a small podcast on Tuesday when we're going to have that tournament. I'm going to give away 10%, possibly 15% to the main event in my online home game. If you haven't joined it, email mouthpoker@yahoo.com. $250 for 200. Just say in the email, you heard me on the Mouthpiece. Thanks.
The Mouthpiece.